Alyssa Thomas persevered through several career-ending injuries to set a legendary record in the WNBA. However, none of it would have been possible if it wasn't for her special relationship off the court. Alyssa suffered a potential career-ending injury. She tore her Achilles tendon while playing overseas in the Czech Republic. Many people consider an Achilles injury to be a career-changing injury. However, Alyssa isn't your typical baller. This doesn't mean that the road to recovery was smooth, far from it. She had to find solace in small victories, such as getting out of bed by herself. And for the first couple of weeks, I really didn't leave my room at all. I don't think I processed it as sadness or depression at the time. I can't really explain it, but I couldn't get myself up. Now, is that attitude that helped Alyssa come back from such a devastating injury? She simply couldn't continue feeling sorry for herself. The next challenge was relearning the basics like running. Initially, running felt foreign to her because she hadn't done it in so long. Eventually, her rehab process allowed her to play 5-on-5 basketball, and it was at that time that she started to feel like her former self. She started coming to the gym early before the games and working out before other teams got there so she could be ready. Two people that inspired her were Breanna Stewart and Kelsey Plum, who had also gone through their own trials and tribulations with Achilles injuries and came out better than ever. But it's not like the injury was the first thing to test her willpower. Alyssa has a unique one-handed shooting style, which she describes as a shooting motion that looks like a waiter carrying a tray. The reason behind this shooting style is that she has torn her labrum in each shoulder. In fact, during Game 2 of the 2021 semifinals against the Las Vegas Aces, Thomas dislocated her right shoulder. She did return to play in Game 3 though, scoring 23 points and 12 rebounds. So it is safe to say nothing will stop Alyssa from getting back on the court. But growing up, the last thing she wanted to do was play ball. She couldn't have asked for a better coach growing up. Alyssa comes from a basketball family. Her parents both played college basketball and bonded over the game, but Alyssa didn't care too much about basketball growing up. In fact, when her mom Tina signed her up for it, she threw a tantrum. Alyssa was 5 years old at the time. She was a shy kid and wanted to keep to herself. When Alyssa's teacher was sick for a day of school when she was 4, she had to spend the day in her younger brother Devin's 2-year-old class because she wasn't used to the substitute. But her mom knew better. If Alyssa was going to amount to anything, she needed to get used to being uncomfortable. Tina coached Alyssa throughout her childhood and teenage years through AAU as well. Everything she taught her daughter was built on toughness, competitiveness, fundamentals, and unselfish play. All things were earned in the Thomas household. If you were going to win a game of Candyland, it was because you really won that game of Candyland. In life, you have to fight. And how are you going to fight if you don't teach your kids to fight? So if she fell over, get up, you're all right. And if she didn't get up, you knew something was wrong. Alyssa mentions how tough her mother was on her, but she's grown incredibly appreciative of it as she has gotten older. That toughness has crafted who she is on the court through and through. Slowly, her game began to evolve until she fell in love with a unique playing style. NBA 2K played a huge role in her evolution. She and her brother Devin played 2K all the time growing up, and she fell in love with the 7 seconds or less Suns. She loved Manu Ginobili and Steve Nash because of the way they set up their teammates. Both players had unique flair and pacing to their game, and Alyssa tried her best to emulate it. Alyssa wound up the 7th ranked player in the 2010 high school class. However, she was snubbed from the McDonald's All-American game, the highest ranked player in the country to not be invited due to turning down to play for another AAU program during her high school career. That fueled her and motivated her to continue honing her craft. She missed out on the entire sophomore summer of AAU, suffering a broken ankle and wrist a month apart, minimizing her recruiting exposure. However, she did still have interest from the likes of Duke, but she ended up going to Maryland because people at Duke were rude to her. Duke really missed out on an all-time great, as she went to Maryland and became their all-time leader in scoring, rebounding, and double-doubles for both the women's and men's programs, and one of only 3 athletes in NCAA history with 6 career triple-doubles. However, in the WNBA, she'll do something that no other female player has ever done. It didn't take her long to dominate the pros. She was drafted 4th overall by the New York Liberty in the 2014 WNBA draft and was draft day traded to the Sun alongside Kelsey Bone. She was named to the 2014 WNBA All-Rookie team. After her rookie season, she would then be voted into the 2017 WNBA All-Star Game, making it her first career All-Star Game appearance. Thomas would finish off the season setting new career highs in scoring, rebounding, assists, and steals. She has recorded 12 career triple-doubles. She is one of 4 players to record 15+, 15+, 10+ with 0 turnovers, and the only WNBA player to do so ever. 2 years after rupturing her Achilles tendon while playing overseas, she returned to her dominating self, averaging career highs in points and leading the league in rebounds. It was super hard. That whole process, that was my first major injury, which I needed surgery on. I was playing some really great basketball. There's always that in the back of your mind that you won't be the same player. It was a very hard recovery mentally and physically for me. Alyssa had a league record 27 double-doubles and is the first player in WNBA history to lead the league in total rebounds and assists in the same season. She also became the first player to post 25 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, and 5 steals in a game. She joined Asia Wilson and Breanna Stewart in the MVP race. During that dark period, DeWanna Bonner, her all-star teammate and fiance, came to her aid to let her know that there was light at the end of the tunnel. Her relationship with DeWanna is truly special. DeWanna and Alyssa have found a comfortable work-life balance in the WNBA. In February 2021, she shared that she was in a romantic relationship with her Connecticut Sun teammate DeWanna Bonner, and in July 2023, they became engaged. They are the unquestioned leaders of the Connecticut Sun on the court and partners off of it. According to their coach, the two of them are the heart and soul of the franchise. You think about not just what they do on a day-to-day basis, but the consistency with which they've done it since they've been here. They have raised the level of intensity and practice every day. Off the court, they have a wedding to plan. They began dating during the pandemic and became engaged last season during the All-Star break. Alyssa says their relationship wasn't something that she expected. They became friends at first overseas, but they really connected in the bubble. Alyssa is comfortable isolating herself. She likes and needs her space, something that has been true since she was a kid. She's in her zone when she's just scrolling through Netflix for an hour or listening to Khalid, Miguel, Georgia Smith, or other R&B artists while she details her shoes or car. But she let Bonner in, and in turn, she has come out of her shell more. Off the court, Bonner points out how compassionate Alyssa is. She is always looking for ways to make things easier for Bonner or her children. Every day, she seeks new opportunities to add some randomness to a day and improve it. She is detailed and organized, but not overbearing. But basketball, at least for now, comes first. Bonner and Alyssa decided to put their wedding plans on hold as Thomas worked toward her goal of making the Olympic team and playing in the Paris Games this summer.